everyone, my name's Michelle and this is my channel Sewing Bunny. Welcome to my video today, which is sharing with you my February makes. So just have to say, if you can hear anything outdoors, it's a beautiful, lovely sunny day and the kids across the road are having a whale of a time. So they've got like their little carts out and their toys and they're just having a great time. So if you can hear anything, that's what that is. So yes, I thought I would share with you my February makes. It's come to you a little bit late. We're nearly at the end of March, but I thought, yes, let's get this video out to you now. So let's get straight in with what I am wearing. So this is the Tilly and the Buttons Pearl Cardigan, which is a reasonably new pattern from them. I think they've just released a dungaree pattern, but this was the one that they released just before that. And as you can probably tell, I was very inspired by the one on the cover. And I really liked the look of this. I thought it's just a little bit different. The one on the cover shows like a standard sort of sleeve, and on the back you can actually see there are different variations. There's a balloon sleeve, there's the straight sleeve, and there's the short sleeve. So yeah, really nice little variety there. And this one, yeah, as I say, as soon as I saw it, I just had to make it. So I had this pink jersey interlock fabric in my stash, which was from Beyond the Pink Door. I have 1.5 meters of this, and the pattern does say that you probably need more like 2 meters. So I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to get it out of 1.5 meters. I didn't actually have a problem getting it out of 1.5 meters, as well as lengthening the pattern. So I do think as long as you're careful with your pattern pieces and you don't have anything too directional, you should be okay if you make something around about my size of 1.5 meters. I made a size 4. So that for a size 4 says it's around about a UK size 12, which is a 36-inch bust, a 30-inch waist and a 39-inch hip. I'm a 36 bust, I'm a 30 waist, I'm a 40 hip, but yeah, I didn't really need to worry about hip measurements in this because, as you can see here, it finishes at the waist. Now, one thing I definitely knew I wanted to do before I made this up is I knew I was going to have to lengthen the pattern. In the picture, you can see there it sits just on her waist here, on the top of her jeans. Now, I love wearing high-waisted jeans, but I knew that this was going to be way too short, even for my high-waisted jeans, which I will demonstrate. This is why I wore this one today. So I extended this by 3 inches. Now I'm 5'8" and I do have a reasonably long torso. So yeah, what I did is I cut the pattern out as normal. Well, I traced mine because I like to trace, and I held it above my body, and I just knew instantly it was going to be too short. So I kind of thought, right, I'm going to go for 3 inches, and I think I'm pretty bang on with the 3 inches. The one I went for was the balloon sleeve. So you can see here, it's not massively like balloon sleeve. It's just kind of a nice little puff sleeve. It is really, really nice. And yeah, you can sort of pull it up a little bit as well if you wanted to have a bit more of the balloon sort of effect, I guess. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It's quite subtle. Not too in your face, so if you're not into, you know, big poofy sleeves, it's actually quite a nice one to get started on there. So what I'll do is I've got my little stool here. I'm just going to like stand up so I can kind of show you what it looks like, because I know when I made this and I posted a picture up on Instagram, I got loads of messages. How did I lengthen it? How did I find the fit, etc. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And I will show you my pattern pieces as well, because I know a lot of you are asking how I lengthened the pattern. So let me stand up a little bit so you can see. Oh, there we go. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see here. This is the top of my high-waisted jeans. And I'm just wearing a little vest top there. And if I put that there, can you see that is where it's sitting? So it is more or less sitting where my jeans meet, maybe overlapping a tiny bit, which I personally like, because if I reach my arms up, there we go, we'll see that there's a little bit of a gap going on. Now, I'm not going to be reaching up all the time like that, but that is why I needed that 3.5 inches extra. Otherwise, it would have basically have sat up here, which would not have been good for me at all. My waist, my natural waist is here, so that's why I added on that extra. So if I go to the side, that's where the little tie is. If I turn around very carefully, don't want to fall off anything. And then, as you can see here, the wrap. So for me, it doesn't wrap over too much up here. I always wear a little vest top or something underneath it, just because I know over time it does kind of open up a little bit. I think because I've extended the length, I do have a little bit of gape here, but certainly, you know, nothing that, you know, I don't mind. I don't find it too gapey, but I think because I did extend the length a little bit, I think if it had been up here, it would have probably nipped in a bit more. But there is a slight gap, but certainly, as you can see, nothing to worry about. So I really, really like it. The only thing I did differently from the instructions is I top stitched the bottom band. So you can see on the top band, I haven't top stitched anything down. It sits really nice and flat, so I didn't need to. But here, I did top stitch the band because I just found it wasn't sitting quite as flat as I wanted it to. So I did just top stitch that down, and I do think that looks really, really nice. So the pattern piece, pattern pieces. So I had to extend the back piece and the front, the two front pieces, and the neckband piece. Now, I seem to have lost my neckband piece, but that's the easiest one to adjust, because all you do is add on 3 inches or however long you want it onto the end. You don't need to, you know, blend anything in, you just literally add 3 inches onto the end. The back piece is probably then the next easiest piece. Sorry for any rustling noises, because my pattern pieces are a bit scrumpled. But hopefully you'll see on here, this is the extra that I've added in. That is the 3 inches I've added in. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that on your back piece, the fold line piece, you want to make sure stays completely in line. That you want to keep completely in line. When you cut this line to extend it down, you bring it down, you keep that totally in line. You'll find here, you might have to adjust your pattern ever so slightly. And I do mean ever so slightly. I don't even know if you can tell the difference there. But all I did was just draw a line to match up this edge. You probably won't even notice any difference on that piece. That's the easiest one. The front piece, however, is slightly different. Let me just grab that. So I'm trying to flatten it out a little bit. So I hope you'll be able to see this one here. So again, between these two lines is where I've added my 3 inches. So if you can imagine, obviously take that out, the actual pattern piece would have just been set up here. I've cut along here and brought it down. Again, this line here, which is your underarm seam, that you want to keep dead straight. You don't want to move anything, you know, out here or down this way. You want to keep it dead straight. And then this side, you can see where I've brought it down, I've had to draw a little bit extra. Now I haven't gone all the way here and kind of gone up this way, because I wanted to make sure that I kept the bottom reasonably sort of narrow. So I just drew a line to meet up here and added on that sort of extra. So I really hope that that sort of helps in how I matched up those two pieces, because I know a lot of people said they had quite a step, and it is just a case of redrawing it a little bit. I mean, to be honest, I don't think there's necessarily a right and wrong way of doing it. It's all, you know, how you feel comfortable, you know, adjusting your pattern pieces and what suits your body. But that's just how I've done it. So I do hope that helps. And I know I've spent probably about 10 minutes talking about this one pattern, but because I did get so many messages on it, I just wanted to explain it the best way that I could. So I really hope that helps. So yes, this is the pearl cardigan. Very, very happy with it. Perfect fabric for this. It's so nice and cozy. I'm so glad that I made it out of this fabric because it is so super, super soft. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but it's got some lines in it. So it just makes it a little bit different. You can probably see there that texture of it just being a bit brushed. So cozy. I love it. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing that I made. Let me show you the pajamas that I made. Move those things out the way. So again, you might have to excuse these because I did actually wear these last night. I haven't put them in the wash yet, but they have been washed probably 2 or 3 times since I've made them because I've worn them all the time because I love them. So this fabric was a double gauze that I had from a So Hailey Jane box, and I really liked the fabric, but I just kind of thought for me it wasn't quite you know, kind of like dress or anything like that sort of fabric for me, but I thought it would make beautiful pajamas, and oh, I'm so glad I made these. So the top I'll start off with first. This is the Wardrobe by Me Whisper Blouse top. And if I can bring that back far enough there for you to see. So it's a lovely little boxy top. I did make a slight adjustment to the pattern, which was to lower the neckline ever so slightly. Probably maybe about, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch, something like that. Because the original pattern is a bit more of a higher round neck, whereas this I just wanted slightly lower just because of it being for pajamas. I just wanted a little bit more room there. I made short sleeves on this one, and yeah, it is just so comfortable. I did add in a little label there, which I think actually came from a So Hailey Jane box. When I'd been subscribed for a year, she popped in these labels as like a little freebie. So I thought that was good. So to me, love me. Because yes, pajamas totally is a little gift for myself. I love it. And this fabric, as I say, it's so soft. When you first probably wash double gauze, you probably find it's quite crinkly. I like that crinkled texture. But I do find that when I wear it, it does soften out a little bit. Probably can't see too well there, but it really does get nice and soft. Some people say it grows. My personal thing is I don't think it necessarily gets, you know, bigger. It's just the weave gets a little bit looser, so it just becomes a bit more softer. So I think, you know, don't make anything too tight fitting in double gauze. But for pajamas, oh, it's absolutely bang on. I love it. I will obviously insert pictures of me wearing them. And then for the bottoms, I made the Tilly and the Buttons Sapphire trousers, which is from her book, Make It Simple. And I made these and I just basically cut off a little bit of the bottom. I honestly can't tell you how much I took off the bottom. I just kind of, whatever I had fabric wise left over, because I had 2.5 meters in my So Hailey Jane box. So I managed to make this out of 2.5 meters. But these are the trousers. So there we go. Nice wide leg trousers there. And yeah, so what I did with this one, again, I just adjusted it ever so slightly. On the pattern for this, it actually tells you to do like a flat front. So when you put the elastic in, it's make this part completely flat and then gather, you know, with elastic around just the back and side sections. But again, because I was making pajamas, I wasn't bothered about having a flat front. So I didn't do that step. I just put in the elastic all the way around, which was going to be really, really comfortable. It's got a nice amount of stretch on there. And I added in a label, which was from my friend Rosie, who's Rosie Sews Modern Vintage over on Instagram and YouTube. She did a few labels. And yes, I thought that was really, really nice because this says, sewing makes me happy. Making pajamas does make me happy. So yeah, these are so comfortable. They are probably my favourite pyjamas to wear at the moment, and yeah, I would happily make more double gauze pyjamas because they are just so snuggly. It doesn't matter if you screw them up because that is just the look of them. I say I can screw them all up, and yeah, because they are lovely and soft and double gauze, absolutely fine. So that is also a bonus. So really, really happy that I made those. Next up, I'll show you what I made for my February sew along, which was the Peppermint magazine Paddington top, which is this one here. It's such a lovely top. I really, really like this top. This is a free pattern from Peppermint magazine, and when I say free pattern, it is a free pattern. If you want to purchase it without paying for it, you can, or what you can do is you can pop them a donation. So you know, if you do want to purchase the pattern, maybe just pop a couple of dollars in for them. They might appreciate that. And also a lot of work does go in to creating a pattern. So but ultimately it is free if you want to. There's no obligation for you to buy. You can purchase this completely free, you know, no questions asked. But I really enjoyed making this one. So I've got some light randomly coming in here. If I look at the back here, we've got some buttons that I've added on there, and they're just little orange floral buttons. And this fabric, oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a viscose that I was given by Felicity Fabrics in exchange for a review. And yeah, you guys voted for it to be the sew along, so you got a sew along for it. So I will link the sew along. I've got probably a little card up here I'll pop in. And yes, so I'm really, really happy with this one. I won't talk too much about it because if you want to know more about it, you can have a look in the sew along, but I really enjoyed making it. I love the details of these elasticated cuffs and the facing, and of course those lovely buttons. Really, really like it. Try and see if I can sort out this weird light situation. Okay, I've just moved you ever so slightly, and I think I might have combat the light issue. Okay, right, next up, I want to talk to you about this jumper, which I made. This is the Sew House 7 toaster sweater, which is this one here, and I made this version, which has the cuffs, the bottom band, and this lovely high neck. Haven't made this version yet. Loads of people tell me that I should make it because they love it, but yeah, I made this one, and that's the one that I've made loads. And yeah, it's just one that I just know works for me really, really well. Now this fabric I bought fully with the intention of making a toaster sweater. This is from Beyond the Pink Door, a lovely, lovely mint cable knit. It's so nice. I love cable knits. I know you can get them from quite a few places. Probably not so much now because obviously we're approaching spring, summer. But oh, it's just lovely. I love this colour. I'm not sure how well the colour's coming up on the screen there, but it's a lovely, lovely mint colour. So yes, it's got this nice high neck, raglan sleeves, and then the cuff here, and then also the bottom band. Now, I'm going to say it because I'm a sewer and I have to point out when I make errors. It's not necessarily an error that's bad, but I just want to point it out because I think I have to, in case anyone, you know, it kind of looks at it and goes, Michelle, do you know that you've done this? I guess that's kind of what goes in my brain. But I did try and pattern match as much as I could. And so I pattern matched as much as I could at the neckband and on the cuffs, if you can see there and there, hopefully. And on the bottom band, I did pattern match, but can you tell what I've done? So I have the direction going up for these sort of leaf patterns and then going down for that. Don't know if you can see that there. You can't really notice it too much when you're wearing it, but to be honest, I made it up. I was like, yeah, I love it. I was ironing it, you know, taking pictures of it. And it was only when I was taking pictures to post up on Instagram that I looked and I went, oh no, I've done that on the bottom band wrong. I had no idea that I'd done it until I was taking pictures. And I went down to see my husband Stuart and I was wearing it and I said, oh, you know, I've made this. And I kind of said, can you see anything odd about it? And as my husband's job, he's actually like a quality technician. So he looks for like issues on things. And he was looking up and down and he even like grabbed the bottom of my jumper and like pulled it down to kind of think, oh, you know, was there anything? And he kind of went, I can't see anything obvious. And then I pointed it out to him and he just rolled his eyes at me and he was like, you would never, ever know that. And I know he's completely right. But yeah, I think as a sewer, I think, I don't know, it's part of our nature, isn't it, to sort of point out issues. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So I'm really happy that I managed to get all my pattern matching done. But yeah, I see it, I suppose, more than anyone else would. So I know I'm being very silly on that. I'm not going to point it out to anybody that isn't a sewer, because yeah, all the comments that I've had when I've worn this, everyone says it's lovely. So yeah, and I think even I posted it up on Instagram and loads of people were like, oh, your pattern matching is lovely. I can't even see what area you're talking about. So yeah, I'm just being a little bit hard on myself there. But other than that, I'm really, really happy with it. And for this one, I made a size medium on that one. I always make a size medium. Oh yes, and I do make one adjustment when I do this, is I extend the bodice by 2 inches. Just because, again, for me, I mentioned with the pearl cardigan, I'm a bit long in the torso, so I do like to add on a little bit more. It just means that the band doesn't sit, you know, above my jeans. It sits just below my jeans. So yeah, very happy with that one. One that I didn't plan actually on making, but I did want to join in. This is the Frida blouse by Atelier Jupe. And this wasn't in my February sewing plans, but I heard that Rachel from Stitched Up was doing a live sew along and she was making this pattern. And I must admit, I had seen the pattern. I'd seen a lot from Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door. She had been making up this blouse a lot. And I must admit, it was on my radar to maybe make at some point, but I didn't have any firm plans to make it in February. But when Rachel announced the sew along, I just thought, yeah, I really actually want to do that. So yeah, I had this fabric in my stash, which, oh, it's beautiful. It's from Fabrics Galore, and I got a while back, so unfortunately can't purchase it now. But it's a lovely soft viscose in this gorgeous floral design. I should have really given this an iron before showing you, but I have worn it loads. It probably needs to have a nice iron before I wear it again. But it's got some beautiful details in it. It's got this yoke piece up here with this little gather detail. I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see that because it's quite a busy fabric. It's got this button band that goes all the way down to the hem. And yeah, I'm not sure whether necessarily it's a dipped hem or whether that's just the way that I'm lying it there. I'm not sure. Let's try that again. There we go, that's a bit more flat. And then just a nice little hem there. It's got these lovely cuff details where, can you see there's like a little pleat just there in the cuff? Really, really nice. And then at the back, again, it might be a bit of a busy print, so you might not be able to see, but I've got this yoke piece here and then a little pleat just there as well, just giving it a little bit of shape. There are no darts in this, so it is just one that relies on the fabric just, you know, kind of floating down. which I actually really like. And I did add in a little label here, which is "Sewing is my self-care." And I thought that one was absolutely perfect for this, because I just really enjoyed Rachel's live sew along, and I just kind of thought that is my self-care, is just kind of, you know, doing sewing as, you know, my hobby, and being with, you know, kind of people on the live and everything, chatting, you know, typing in the boxes and things, having Rachel, you know, talk back to you and everything was just so nice. It was just like having a lovely evening with a whole load of sewing friends. I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't finish this on the live because Rachel is an absolute sewing whiz. I'm so jealous of how quickly she can sew. She just whizzes through things. It's amazing. I'm quite slow when I sew, but I did manage to get the majority of it done. But then I had a little bit of trouble with this button placket. For some reason I was reading the instructions and it just wasn't going in my head properly, and like Rachel was explaining it absolutely perfectly, and I thought what she'd said I'd done, but I hadn't. I'd done it completely differently, and I had to unpick, and by that time I was quite far behind. But I really, really enjoyed following along with her. Sorry, that weird bit of light is back again. I don't quite know why that is. Can I move this around again? Probably not. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think it's because the sun's coming round. But yeah, I did also add in these buttons. These buttons are from Pigeon Wishes. I got them when I went to the knitting and stitching show at Alexandra Palace, where I met Meg, and yeah, I got those buttons and I just thought they went really nicely with the shirt. So yeah, really, really love this top, and I've just really enjoyed following along with Rachel's sew along. So yeah, really, really happy with that one too. And I did actually wear that when I went to the Stitch Festival in London a couple of weeks back. Yeah, so it's got lots of wear, and I've worn that to work a few times when I've had meetings, and I've had loads of my office colleagues saying to me, because a few of them know that I sew, and I turned up wearing it and everyone's like, "Oh, is that one you made, Michelle?" I was like, "Yes, it is, thank you very much." So yeah, really, really happy with that one. Okay, so that was everything. I think it's probably been quite a long video, so thank you for sticking with me. If you did enjoy the video, then please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, it would be lovely if you could. And yeah, I'd love to know what you made in February, or tell me which one out of my makes that was your favourite. Just comment below in the comments box. It would be lovely to hear from you. Okay, well, take care everybody, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.